Hi everyone, it's JimClassic again, and yes, third vlog in and I already look a little bit different, don't I? Well, it's November now, which means it is No Shave November, and its intended purpose is to raise cancer awareness. So if anyone is interested in learning more about it, there will be a link at the bottom. I'm not quite sure about the beard still. Still a little scratchy, so I don't know. Maybe it's something I can get used to. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's see what happens. So for those of you who watched my second blog, and judging by the lack of views you haven't, I hinted that today's blog will be none other than Inspector Gadget. Nope. No. Hell no, not that. I think somebody already critiqued that shitty piece of nostalgia, and I ain't touching that one. No. What I'm talking about is the original Inspector Gadget. Thank you. Inspector Gadget was one of my favorite cartoon shows of the 80s. I remember watching it primarily on Nickelodeon. I don't remember if it was on any other station, but I remember it was on Nickelodeon. Inspector Gadget was a French-Canadian-American animated series which aired from 1983 to 1986. And it was about a clumsy and oblivious detective who had cybernetic attachments stored within him. Often throughout the show's run, he would activate his gadgets by uttering the command of "Go Gadget something."
Go Gadget key! I said go Gadget key! Go Gadget key!
And it was always a 50-50 guess if the right gadget would activate. Some of the secondary cast of characters were Gadget's brilliant and tech-savvy niece, Penny, and their dog, Brain. And also in the second season, Capman. He was stupid. Also there was Chief Quimby, who often sent Gadget on his missions, and they were always after the criminal organization known as M.A.D. I don't think M.A.D was an acronym for anything. It definitely was not Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, because I don't think they're a criminal organization, but this organization was M.A.D, M.A.D. And the leader of M.A.D was the evil and mysterious Dr. Claw. Inspector Gadget himself was voiced by Don Adams. He was based on Agent 86 Maxwell Smart from the 1965 spy comedy Get Smart.
Maxwell Smart, Agent 86. How do you like that?
You did a lousy job. Oh, whoever gave you your last haircut?
Come on, Geekin, let's...
Missed it by that much.
And he was also based on Inspector Clouseau of the Pink Panther movies. Well, yeah, I know this might sound weird to some people out there, but I've actually never seen a Pink Panther movie. So there was pretty much a formula to each episode, and it went the same way just about every time. Gadget, Penny, and Brain are doing some kind of an activity when Chief Quimby shows up and gives Gadget his assignment to stop M.A.D. Penny and Brain decide to go after Uncle Gadget, and Inspector Gadget almost always would encounter a M.A.D agent, but is too stupid to realize it's a M.A.D agent, even when the costume is clearly showing the M.A.D logo. Gadget just doesn't figure it out. Inspector Gadget would often confuse Brain, who was in disguise as a M.A.D agent, and would pursue him. Penny uses her computer book and her wits to solve the crime, and a chance meetup at the finale of the episode where it appears to Chief Quimby that Gadget has cracked the case, but is still too stupid to realize. Finally, the PSA at the end of the episode, roll credits, and boom. The next episode would pretty much do the exact same thing, just in a different location, with a different M.A.D. agent, and a different crime conducted by M.A.D. And that was it. Formulaic, very predictable, but god damn, did I love this cartoon show. There were the occasional episodes where Gadget was on the ball, and he would actually go after a M.A.D. agent, but they were few and far between, and to be perfectly honest, I think they were probably my favorite episodes. Not that I can remember a single one of them, but it's been a long time since I've watched the cartoon. But I think I always liked Gadget when he was just a little bit smarter. So, more often than not, Penny would usually solve the crimes in each episode of Inspector Gadget. She was very intelligent, she was witty, she would always snoop around and get all the clues, and she would always use that computer book that she had, equivalent to like a laptop today, except she was like a master hacker or something. She could just infiltrate any computer system. Even one episode, I think she even hacked into a tank. I don't even think that's possible, but she did it. Every episode, she would use that book, she would cause havoc to M.A.D., and, she would be the one solving the crimes. She would do all the thinking and the solving. She would send Brain out in disguise to look after Uncle Gadget, to keep him out of trouble. But I always had this personal theory about Penny that she stole the computer book from M.A.D. and was using it against them. I guess that just made the most sense, because that computer book could analyze any M.A.D. trap. It could hack into any M.A.D. computer, and she was just able to do so much with it that I think it had to have been M.A.D. technology that she stole. Because otherwise, the cartoon show really doesn't tell you why she has it, so, I guess it's just my little headcanon on, what it was. Whatever. Maybe it's something you never thought of, and now you agree with me now. I don't know. Moving on. Dr. Claw was probably one of my favorite villains ever. He was voiced by Frank Welker, who's done a lot of voiceovers and a lot of cartoons over the decades, and maybe I'll touch upon that another day, but Dr. Claw is probably one of his most famous, or at least most beloved, in my eyes at least.
You haven't seen anything yet, Gadget. Focus, you will make mad scientist history. When I turn it on, it will become so hot, it will burn him to a cinder. Never get their chip back. Never!
I mean, come on. Who doesn't remember, "I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time." Oh, God. I think that actually hurt a little bit. Anyway. Okay. This is what I was talking about in my last video about Dr. Claw's M.A.D.mobile. I mean, just look at this thing. From car to jet to submarine. This thing pretty much has it all. Plus, it looks fierce as hell. I always liked this car. It might be one of my favorite fictional cars. From its color to vicious M.A.D. decor and its posh interior. It really is everything any motorist would want. Even missiles. That'll definitely help out in a traffic jam, that's for damn sure. So, yes, Dr. Claw. He was the head of the organization known as M.A.D. But if you watch the episodes, M.A.D. is obviously well-funded. I mean, they're I guess a pretty powerful criminal organization, because they've got agents all over the world, they've got labs and bases all over the world, they've got the weird tanks and undersea bases and just and they even have MAD agents just infiltrating society. Did Bring just kill a man? I mean, really, this was completely random. But I think this MAD agent died. Like, I watched the rest of this episode, and that MAD agent never shows up again. Like, usually in cartoon shows, after an explosion, you'd expect the guy to come out in a puff of smoke and covered in soot and you know, whatever. But no, this thing goes boom. And, you know, you just don't see him again. So, yeah, there's an episode of Inspector Gadget where a guy dies. I mean, wowzers. So, anyway, let's continue. And Dr. Claw even had a fucking castle on some mountaintop in somewhere. We don't even know where his castle was, but just, come on, this guy was already loaded. What the hell else did he want? No one ever really knew the identity of Dr. Claw. It was probably one of the greatest mysteries of the 1980s. The only part of him that the audience ever got to see was the metal gauntlet hanging over his office chair in his castle fortress. The show never gave any clue to his identity or even showed a glimmer of his face. But my personal theory was that the true identity of Dr. Claw was in fact Chief Quimby running the criminal organization. And maybe he was just trying to play both sides for his nefarious purposes. Or maybe it's complete bullshit, I don't know. But the fact is, we never really knew who Dr. Claw was, and it was always a guess. You know, it was just, I guess it's one of those mysteries that, you know, it was so tantalizing, which is probably why it makes Dr. Claw such a cool villain, because you never, ever, ever found out. In 1992, there was a brief and yet kind of lousy Inspector Gadget toy line. The show had already been canceled for a couple of years, so the toy line just kind of came out of nowhere, and maybe that's why it disappeared just as quickly. Oh God! Oh, that thing is hideous! Back, you foul beast! Oh God! That thing is just... No, that is probably the reason why I never bought a single toy from that toy line. I probably saw that thing on the shelf, me, 12-year-old JimClassic, and I said, no, I'm not buying that. Probably gave me nightmares, too. There was a Dr. Claw figure with this toy line. So I believe this was his first face reveal. I probably would have bought that toy back in the 90s. I don't remember ever seeing that one on the shelf, so that's probably the only Inspector Gadget toy I would have bought back then. I believe he's had a few other face reveals in some of the later spin-off series, and of course, the movie. But I think they're pretty rare, and I can't really verify that because I never really watched any of the spin-off series. At that point, I kind of lost interest in Inspector Gadget, and I just watched maybe a couple of episodes, and some of them were just too damn stupid. But I will say this, the packaging for the toy was clever. I've seen pictures of it online. I got these from the Googles, and I love it because they package the toy so that they deliberately hide Dr. Claw's face, so that anyone wanting to know what he looked like had to go to the store, buy the toy, and then open it up. And that was just effing clever. I'm not going to show you the picture of Dr. Claw, but spoilers, it's not Chief Quimby, and that disappoints me. Oh well. And also, for Gadget's other sidekick, I'm just gonna make this brief because I really did not like him even as a kid. It's Capman, and he's just a doofus who thinks he's a superhero, but he's really not. And Inspector Gadget kind of just takes him under his wing as like his apprentice. And I kind of like the idea, but I also think it was kind of stupid because I just didn't like Catman. Maybe if they had done it better, I probably would have liked it, but Catman's just stupid, okay? That's all I'm saying on that subject. He's just fucking stupid. Well, this is an interesting moment. Gadget actually believes he's been taken by aliens when in reality he's in an underwater M.A.D base. And look at this. He's even using the Vulcan salute. And now he's referencing Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I mean, I've never even noticed this before. Inspector Gadget did have a few spin-off series over the years. I never really watched many of them. I thought a lot of them were pretty bad. Gadget Boy, which sucked. Inspector Gadget's Field Trip in 1996. Well, of course, in 1999, the movie. Oh, God, I just feel dirty thinking about it. Lieutenant Gadget and the Gadgetinis.
I understand you plumbers can fix anything mechanical. I need an emergency adjustment. The name is Gadget. Inspector Gadget.
Oh, no problem, Gadget. Come back in an hour.
Well, I need you to fix them while I wait.
One time, Inspector Gadget even showed up in an episode of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. This was during the beginning, middle, and end of the live-action segments during the cartoon show. And I remember as a kid being really excited, and it's kind of funny now. It wasn't Don Adams playing the role of Inspector Gadget. It was one of his later replacements.
How are you?
Do you think that I should tell him about some of the other changes that we made?
Go! Rocket shoe!
I don't think so.
And finally, in 2015, there was another Inspector Gadget 3D animated series, which so far is Maybe there's nothing different between that and the original. It's just I just don't like it as much anymore. I read somewhere that Disney might be doing another live-action Inspector Gadget movie. I guess as long as they don't fuck it up again. I don't think I'm asking much. Well, in closing, I still enjoy the original Inspector Gadget, and I still watch it with a level of fondness. To this day, it still kind of irritates me a little bit about how daft Gadget is, and as much as I would like to see this, I accept that it'll never happen, and it might ruin the spirit of the cartoon show anyway. I just would like to see a slightly more competent Gadget. But what can I say? The Inspector Gadget of my youth was a long time ago. In a galaxy far, far away. I'll see you later.
I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.